Hey, this is Paul Roy, pauljroy.com, and this is part 2 of Investing in the Stock Market Simplified. You know, over 90% of trades on the stock market lose money. That means 90% of the people who buy an individual stock eventually sell it for less than what they paid for it. So how is it that you see all of these really, really wealthy people who attribute their fortune to the stock market, yet over 90% of people apparently suck at it? And the answer is entirely in psychology. The answer lies in your emotions. When things are going good, people tend to think they're going to go good forever. And when things are going bad, people tend to think they're going to go bad forever. And this is just a basic element of human psychology. We latch on to what is happening right now, and we project that into the future. So we think things are going great right now, and things will never be bad for me. I will never get my comeuppance. I'm doing wonderful, and will always do wonderful. And when things are going bad for us, then we just expect that we're going to come home and our truck will break down and our dog will be dead and our wife left us. Because things are going bad right now, and they're just going to go bad in perpetuity forever, and we're eventually going to be homeless and live in a box on the side of the road under a bridge. And so many people take this mentality and they put it on the stock market. They take what's happening inside of their heads, which is not accurate, and they use these emotions to buy and sell stuff, and then they claim that the system doesn't work. Well, it doesn't if you use it wrong. In my last video, I talked about going on eBay and buying stuff that you don't even know what it is. And you end up with like the Partridge Family on VHS, and then you try to sell it for more money and you realize that you can't, so you sell it for less money, and then you blame eBay. The best way of making money on the stock market is to buy low and sell high. In fact, that is what every single person who's ever made money on the stock market has done. They bought low and they sold high. That's what they did. Yet, most people buy high and sell low. And it goes back to what I was just talking about, how most people are very emotional. They don't have the emotional discipline or the mental discipline to wait when things are bad and to sell when things are good. So let's say that you bought XYZ Corporation at $10 a share and then it went up to $100 a share. You could make 10 times on your money if you sold it. But most people won't, because they're waiting for it to go to $150 a share. Because they think that what they've earned is what they deserve. It becomes their new normal. So they think, oh, I'm a millionaire now. And of course, they don't realize that the $1 million that they have was created with like $100,000. They just think, I'm a millionaire now, so I've always been a millionaire and I always will be a millionaire. That's what they think in their head. And that's why over 90% of the trades on the stock market are losers. Because when things go good, they won't sell. Even if they've made a ton of money, they won't sell. And when things start going bad, that's when they sell. When things turn down and they start going down, the first thing that happens is the stock market goes down a little bit and people who've bought something say, oh, it'll go back up, because things that are going good will go good forever. And things that are going bad will go bad forever. When it eventually becomes clear that things are not going so good. And remember that, let's say XYZ company, your baseline is $10. So if it's at $11, you still made money. So technically things are still going good. Even though you could have cashed out for $1 million and now you're going to cash out for $110,000. The reality is that you've lost $990,000, but most people still don't see that as bad. It's entirely a mind game. So most trades are losers because people are emotional about them, because they buy high and then they sell low, and they have this mentality of the stock market itself is not easily understood, and I can't understand it, and I didn't even know what I bought in the first place, and if it goes up, it's because of magic and unicorns, and if it goes down, it's because Ben Bernanke did it. So, if you follow the very simple rule of buying low and selling high, then you will always make money. And there's a whole lot of metrics and valuations that you can use to make sure that you're buying something at a good price, and I'll get into that stuff later. But you first have to wrap your brain around the fact that most people are emotional And if you can't trust yourself to be analytical with something as mathy as money, then you should leave the investing to somebody else who can. And that's what I got for right now. Stay tuned for part 3, where I will talk about the valuations that people use, because how can you tell that this stock is a good deal versus that other stock? There are 2 fundamental ways of doing it, and I'll teach you what they are.